इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to each and everyone who has joined us today for Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. This is a digital representation of the brand for the day. Franchise India is the brand platform through which all our investors getting the business suggestions, franchise suggestions from us. And we truly claim that no one sells more business with us because we have helped thousands of brands internationally and nationally to expand their business with our 70 plus offices. We are among top 10 management consulting companies in India. We welcome management team of Franchise India. This particular webinar is hosted by Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. The flow of the webinar would be, we'll take the correct and complete understanding from the promoters of the brand, then we'll take all your queries and our panel member would be sharing their insights about the industry as well as about the brand. The brand which we got for you and we are representing is Lumer Organic. That's the one-stop shop for all your organic lifestyle needs. It's a responsible business opportunity for each one of you. The brand represents organic retail category brands. They have a strong online and offline presence with their e-stores and 3 physical stores in South. If I talk about their legacy, they carry 18 years of rich experience in similar category. They are the leaders in their category and they have their own and partner farms for fruits and vegetables. And they have their in-house organic bakery also. And it is our privilege to welcome and invite Mr. Manjunath, who is the MD. Along with him, we have Ms. Shilpa Maheshwari. She is the promoter of the brand. Thank you so much, Manju sir. Thank you so much, Shilpa ma'am, for joining in today. We are ready and delighted to have you on board as well as we are ready for your presentation. Over to you, sir.
Hi, thank you for inviting us. And it's been a pleasure to present this opportunity here. And let me take directly to the screen. My name is Manjunath. I'm the founder and managing director of Lumer Organics, and would like to take you to the screens. Yes, we call it a responsible business opportunity. The reason being, we have to be responsible for what we are doing, because food is what we eat, and definitely you have to eat the best quality food to have a healthy life. So definitely it is a responsible business opportunity. Anyone shaking hands with us has to be responsible for this too. I'll take it to the brand introduction, how it all happened. Years back, 20 years back, I was just going through a statement by Dr. Jane Goodall. She was talking about how can mankind have an idea of growing food with poisons? We all know that it's poison, right? Whatever you spray in the field, it smells poison. You know, you have to do only a little bit of poison, otherwise it's going to hurt the farmer. So it's a great question, and I started thinking about it, and I felt, you know, I should be able to do something about it. So that is how I ventured into organic farming. So when you go to the next slide, the question I had is safe food available freely for our sustenance? If it is, if it is that much poison laden, is the safe food available there in the market? So what I found out is, it's not available. Then I had a restaurant running at that time, and I've gone through all the ingredients like spices and condiments and all those things. Most of it was adulterated, because what I eat at home is different. My mother makes it, from the scratch. So, and when I buy it from the market, it's all adulterated. I don't get the same quality. So we started finding out all the adulteration in the food too. So that is where we started thinking, the food chain is adulterated and contaminated with poison. So I got an answer myself that it is absolutely no. It is not there available. Safe food is not available properly. And so the next question I had is, agriculture is the industry which uses maximum land to do work. So how it is going to affect the environment? So if you're putting a lot of poison into it, our air, water, and soil is going to be affected. So our environment is going to be affected. We all love our kids, but are we going to give a safe future to them, their environment where they are going to live? So no. Again, I got an answer, absolute no. That is where it all started. I bought a land in Munnar and I started farming organically. So Lumer started from there. The concept started from there. It took so many years because each of the ingredient, each of the agriculture part, everything I had to learn and do it. So it took a long 18 years to reach this level where I can give you hundreds of SKUs, hundreds of items, including all kinds of necessity in a household thing. While starting itself, we went through some standards. We went through some mantras. The topmost mantra is the consumer. If you do something and selling it to a consumer, then we have to understand, we have to agree with the consumer that consumers should be able to discriminate what is good and bad. That is the first thing. So once he finds out what is good, we stand a chance as a business unit, because whatever we do is good. We have only good quality products. So the next thing is consumers should be able to ask questions, from where and what and how this stuff is coming to you and you're selling. So the source should be known to the consumer. The third thing is we have to wholeheartedly thank nature and the producer of it. That means the farmers. So we stick on to it, these standards even now. That is why we breathe these mantras every day and night. So that is how our quality of food is maintained well. The next thing is, the goals. We have set the goals. We have set so many goals, whatever happens, we will do seed to table organic. We will maintain the quality. We will make sure that each and every step involved in taking this food to your table will be made out of standards like organic standards. Next point is, the waste. We normally dump a lot of wastage in the environment. So what we decided is we will try to be the zero waste company. So what we do is we take all our organic waste back to the farm and we compost it. So it goes back to the soil. So it's a zero waste, it's a cyclic action. And definitely eco-friendly. We don't bring any other material other than the cow dung and cow urine to our farm, which is not available if it is not available in the farm. So we bring it from outside. So it's an eco-friendly thing. We don't do anything other than environment-friendly procedures. Then whatever we cook, we decided we will not use any chemical preservatives, artificial preservatives, additives, or colors, or any taste makers or anything. So we have a kitchen and we have a bakery where we use these standards, and it is 100% edible, 100% healthy. We support organic dairy. We have organic partners, partner farms, which does organic dairy and free range poultry for our eggs. So with all these standards, what we have is a one-stop shop where you can experience all the organic alternatives by sourcing it from there. Let me get into the next one, how Lumaire started and what all we do. We started in Munnar. We purchased the land there, and we started farming there. That is how we all started. It took many years to come to a level that we can trust what we are cultivating. Then we started a kitchen and a bakery where we started making all these products. So then we started the retail units. What we have it in Bangalore, we have it in Whitefield, Marthali, and Sajapur, and we have two more in Trivandrum and Cochin in Kerala. So we have 5 outlets running right now. Then what is the USP of the brand? Whatever we do is the USP. As I was explaining, you can pick each of those statements. First one is seed to table organic. We maintain the standard. Next is we have been I've been traveling and meeting a lot of people, a lot of farmers, a lot of farmer aggregators in India, so that we have a strong sourcing partner network. We have zero waste. That's a beautiful USP actually. That's a great thing to do to the environment, right? You all agree, I hope. And we have an in-house production for all the spices, bakery. We have beautiful breads, which is made out of whole wheat or ragi or many other things, multi-grain also. And we make pickles, jams, spices, snacks, everything we make in-house, and that's what we give it to our consumers. 70% of the brand products are in-house, and 30% trusted partners are there. We source it from them. We have a huge, in the community where we do our retail, we have a loyal customer base. They come every week, twice, thrice, and source everything from us. So it's a long-running loyal relationship with the consumers. They are our partners too. Organic dairy and poultry, it's another USP. So whatever we do is a USP. We started farming. We have a couple of farms right now, and we partner with plenty of farmers especially for the fruit and vegetable, because that is every week we need, right? It's a perishable thing. So we source it from farmers where they use cow dung and cow urine based manure compost, and they make Jivamrita, Panchagavya. Then we use biofertilizers and biopest control. That is from where we do it. And we do free range poultry also. We used to do, right now we don't do it, but we have partner farms who are doing it, where they use the azolla, natural proteins, and leafy greens to raise them healthy. Now, a question is, what is organic food? I hope all of us know about, what is organic food. Organic food is nothing but, created without using any chemical pesticide and artificial fertilizers. What is the advantage or what is the disadvantage of chemical farming? I'm not talking negative about it, but when you do chemical farming, it depletes the soil. It depletes the nutritional content of the soil. It kills the life in the soil. It contaminates the produce. It contaminates the farmer. It contaminates air, water, and soil. Then we also use genetically modified seeds in chemical farming. So in organic standards, we don't use it at all. So that way, the farmers can make their own seeds and use it again. Now, I would like to pass it on to Shilpa to take it further. Please, Shilpa. Thank you.
Thanks, Manju. So here I think you must have, can you
Okay.
sorry, yeah. So by this time, I think you must have understood from where Lumiere has started, and like how much hard work it took to reach to this level. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Manju, for beautifully explaining the Lumiere story. And by this time, I hope every one of you has understood from where Lumiere has started and how Lumiere has reached to this level. I would still request Manju to continue to share the screen with the, yeah. So in this, what we see in this pic is our farm, and the Manju is standing. This pic says a lot about what experience we carries and what kind of knowledge Lumiere team has gathered in last 18 years. And the founder who brings unique knowledge of organic farming, as well as the kind of knowledge he gathered with the community business, which was started in 2002. With that, it's not only just helps Lumiere to build the business, it also helps Lumiere to find the right partners, right authentic suppliers. Like in the market, if you see nowadays, if you see every other person comes and say, okay, we supply the natural products, we don't use any chemical. So it is very confusing state for the market now, for the consumers. Like every other person is claiming that, okay, our food is the most safest food, or our food is the most chemical free food and all. So that's where we play, like make ourselves a very unique knowledge and mix of now experience comes. And our 18 year of experience has helped us to get the trust from our customer that, okay, something is Lumiere, it must be good, authentic, and the organic. And other thing, like it gives a comfort, a different kind of comfort to our vendors and suppliers too. Like if I say, like क्या होता है सबसे ज्यादा frustrating किसी भी vendor या किसी भी producer के लिए, if you see that he feels like, okay, he's putting full effort, full genuine effort to make one product which is chemical free, which is really good, like market organic product. And when he goes to market for sale, what he sees, his product get compared with the low quality product, which is like it should not be compared, but this is how market is operating. And like say farmer, like he goes to the market with the tomato, he said, okay, my organic tomato price is 20 rupees. The buyers will say someone else is selling in 2 rupees, why would I buy this? So it's not so easy, it's kind of frustrating state for the sellers there. So that's where they find a comfort in the Lumiere platform, because when we do the bargain, when we do the talk to them, they know that we are coming up with the genuine database, that we have the genuine data, the comparison is happening in the genuine. So that comfort is a big comfort for all the vendors. And this is the same way our customers are very well know that, okay, anything which is Lumiere is doing, they had done just not the certification they have gone by, they do their own research to get the organic products in the market. So that's a unique features we have in our experience mix in the Lumiere Organics, where we stand out. Then in the next slide, where we are talking about what kind of product portfolio we have it. So it's you must have come to know now, Manju has mentioned that it's like over the years, by the kind of experience, the strong knowledge, the strong network we have built, we can proudly say that Lumiere is the one-stop shop for all organic lifestyle. So we have like a range of products, which is, we can proudly claim that, which you need for your organic lifestyle, chemical free lifestyle, you will find in the Lumiere stores. So in our next slide, you will see what kind of product portfolio we have it. It's like, name it as a bakery, pickles, jams, snacks, personal care, gardening, seasonal fruit, cleaning, laundry, household, baby food, anything which you name, which you need in daily thing. And apart from that, also we have multiple other products where we enable the small supply people who are sharing our philosophy, who wants to do the manufacturing of the chemical free product. We give them a platform to put their product in our shelves. We have puja samagri, like there are many 2 to 3 vendors comes to us, they put their products in our shelf where it's like the chemical free agarbattis, dhoop, the diyas, so which are very unique products which we keep in our stores. And other thing with the time which we realize that other than the grocery and the fruits and the like say vegetables, there is two more products which are two more product range which are playing a major part of our day-to-day eating habits, are bakery and the snacking. So in the kind of lifestyle which we are into now, the fast-paced lifestyle, we cannot expect consumer to change their habits. And that's where most of you will find the chemical rich products in these two range. And that's like 2 to 3 years back, we realized that, okay, this is where we need to give an alternate option, healthy option to our consumers, where we don't say the change the lifestyle, we only say that change your product. We give you the option. Our bakery is 100% organic, chemical free, no maida, no improver, no addictive. So this is one of its kind, I would say. And the snacking, snacks we prepare, and the Indian masala mixes, where you will again find a lot of alteration in the market, and the kind of chemical being used in the market. I don't think we need to talk much about this, but we all are aware of this. So that's where we started our own production unit, and we started supplying there. We got a lot of appreciation, and we can proudly say that our bakery source 100% Lumiere products are there in this. And with the next slide, next few slides, which we are showing about our interiors, how our store looks like. So in these pictures, you can see that it's more of we try to give look and feel to our stores is also as natural as possible. And it's more of we use the natural products again to get this interior out. So it gives a very nice natural feeling and very open feeling to when customer walk-ins in our stores. And the next slide, which you see here, is the testimonials. These are just few snapshots of testimonials. You can search more in Google and Facebook, wherever. So, this is the one thing which we, again, as a Lumiere team, are very proud of, that our customer tells what we are telling you in this entire presentation. That comes out from our customer. We have such loyal customer, where they all talk about what we are selling. And it's like everything which you will find on the Google, and you can do that research that. And the next few slides are talking about the Indian retail and food service industry. So here I'll just quickly walk through, because most of you know about it, and we are not adding much into that. We all know that how retail industry is growing in the India, like from 2015 to 16 in a 1 year time frame. It's a jump from number 15 to number 2 now. And the kind of growth we have seen in the next slide, you will see that in even the pandemic time, this industry has seen the maximum amount of growth in 2020 also. So I think we can walk past few slides like that. We can move to organic industry. Next slide. So in this slide, you see the kind of potential Indian market has about the organic food and organic packaged food. The kind of awareness people are getting into, the health consciousness, it's all bringing, and we have a lot of vacuum in this market to fulfill. So there's a lot of potential in this business model. And we can move to next slide. So here we can talk about what are the growth drivers, which we can say our organic food business is growing in this Indian market. So it's more or less, I think we have already covered this point, everything which is it, the kind of mindset is changing, consumer mindset is getting changed, consumer is becoming more aware, enlightened about the quality of the product. He started asking the questions. He has all the kind of information available just a click away to know, to ask himself, okay, what he or she is going to eat for his lunch or breakfast or the dinner. So this is the one thing which is bringing a good sign to the organic food in the market. Like, okay, there is a huge potential that people are looking for the alternate options, and there's a rise in the income. So per person income has increased, and people will not mind to put some more extra bucks if they get a safe food which they can trust to eat, or they can feed to their family. And then we come to the franchise model for what we are here about. We are talking about the business opportunity. So before I explain the model, the franchise model, I would just like to add why we have chose to expand, scale ourselves in a franchise. So one thing which we realize over the years, the kind of experience we have gained, the kind of mantras we have hold on, we have built a very good backend support system, and it can be leveraged. It can be shared with the people. We can join our hands with our partners and ask them. They can leverage on. They can leverage. They can live. Manju, you need to mute. Yeah. So they can leverage our knowledge from whatever experience we have gained, and we can provide them a platform with to the product which we have to reach out to more and more consumer, where people are looking for now alternate option. Second thing is, it's the right time. It's people are more aware about it. People, it's not the time when we started the business 18 years back, where we door to door has to go and make people aware about what is organic all about. It is not the case now. People more or less know, they are more aware about it. So when we go and explain how different is our products are, its success rate is more. So it's the right time for us to scale ourselves and give our knowledge, share our knowledge with the people who are aspiring entrepreneurs, who wants to be spread our message, and they want to share our vision with us. So that's, and third reason is, yes, definitely giving a more confidence to our vendors who has been with us from so many years and trusting us that, okay, Lumiere will hold on to their mantras, they will not compromise. They have looked up to us, and this is the right time for us to give them more exposure, more shelf for their products. And last and but not the least, it's like inner passion of mine and Manju to prove that, yes, the business can be done with the 100% authentic products, not subsidizing our inner voice, which we say, okay, putting which things which we crib about for the environment, for our surroundings. But when we do business, we try to contribute on that. No, in the Lumiere, we have protected ourselves very well in building such policies. So that can be leverages by our partners, by our people who wants to join hands with us. So with that, I think we can start discussing our franchise model here. When you move to next slide. Yeah. Next slide. Yes. So here we are talking about three models. It's A, B, and master model. So I will ask Manju to explain more.
You know that. Hi, you can hear me? Okay. Hi, I would like to explain the models we have. We have three models actually. Two are outlet models, and the third one is a master model. So in the first model, with our experience during these years, we came out with a. It depends on the community where the business is going to be set up. So if the community is, it is a smaller community, then it can be a 400 square feet, because we have all the groceries, we have the fruit and vegetables, we have the bakery, we have the personal care, much more, So we have the entire range of products for the alternate organic purchasing, shopping. So the 400 square feet one, including our expectation, our calculation is shows that our experience shows that it will need around 16 lakh rupees to set up, including the real estate and including the stock and including the interior furnishing, all these things together. It's around 16 lakhs, and we charge a franchise fee of 2 lakhs, and the ROI on the first year itself is, out of our experience, it shows around 38%. And average payback term is 2 year, 1 month, and agreement term is 5 years. And there is a second model. If the community is bigger enough, in the 1 to 2 kilometers range, if you have really a good community with the expectation of people much more people visiting the outlet. We can have a 850 square feet one. To do the furnishing, everything, all the expenditure together, setup cost will be around 22.65 lakhs, and franchise fee will be 2.5 lakhs one time. And the ROA is same. We expect 38%, and average payback time will be 2 year 1 month. And again, 5 years is the agreement term. And the third one is a master franchisee in a city where you can have multiple outlets. The master franchisor can uh, pick this option and franchise to sub franchisors in that particular city. We can think about the area and all those things we can discuss. And for the master franchisee, he will need a 500 square feet office space and a warehouse where he can have the office, plus he can keep the warehouse items in all the SKUs there, and distribute to the other outlets, other franchises. And the expected setup cost will be around 33 lakhs, which includes the franchise fee of 10 lakhs. There, you have to pay to the company 10 lakhs, but you can collect the franchise fee from the sub-franchisers. We can get into the detail of this, whoever is interested later on. And the ROI will be 21% in the initial year, but going forward, it will be much better. And average payback time will be 2 years, because you will be having multiple franchisers under the master franchise. And the agreement term is again 5 years. And these are the options, and we can, whoever is interested, we can get into this later. And I'll pass it on to Shilpa for the next few slides.
Yes. So here again we talk about, Manju, need to mute. So we are talking about the rollout plans. So yes, we would like to first start rolling out with the Karnataka and then all the southern part of India, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, some part of Kerala. And then we are also seeing a lot of potential in the Maharashtra and the Gujarat, which is the where we would like to maybe have our master franchise plan to be more active this side and get rolled out. So, and Manju, you can move to next slide. So this is, yeah, this is the few places which we identify. These are not, we are not limiting to those places. Yes, these now we see all cities, this kind of, there is a need of such retail stores. So yeah, these are just indications where we can move. And then I'll just explain why to invest in Lumiere. I think more or less we have covered it. So I'll again just reiterate what we have just said, that join your hands with us in the safeguarding and transforming the food and environment to a safer level for a newer generation. A responsible and guilt-free investment. I'll again say it's a guilt-free investment, because as an entrepreneur, we always have that thing that, okay, when we are outside of our business, we crib about our surroundings. But when we get into that business, we do have somewhere our inner voice saying that, no, I'm also contributing onto the same field. So in that way, Lumiere has done a wonderful job and created a platform where we can say proudly that we have protected ourselves from these elements, and we have built a policies and the kind of environment we are equally taking care of environment as well as our customer and as well as our vendors. The fair trade system, the customers are getting best product out of the market from our shelf, and the kind of care being taken by our vendors or farmers for the environment. Then it's a yes, right time. The kind of mood is there in the market. You see Atmanirbhar Bharat, vocal to local, fit India, make in India, Swachh Bharat. We fit into all these parameters, and this is again, as I said, it's the right time for us to scale our business. Then high returns, which I say it's aggressive but yet sustainable plan. We are saying telling this from our last 18-year experience. We have, it's not like 18-year always been a very always upside. We have seen all the ups and down, and then we reach to this mature level of operation. We have it, and there is no like initial glitches kind of stuff. We have already we have covered up, and we have come out of that, and we have a strong operation backend team with us. And other thing is first of its kind. I cannot claim it may be in a, like we are the only one, but I haven't seen anyone who is with the similar concept, which is having seed to table, complete organic, which we can proudly say, traceable, knowing the source, and then our the bakery system, which is like without baking powder, without improver. So we are claiming that we don't even use our baking powder in our breads. So this is a kind of one of its kind of concept in the India, which need to be now taken to the right platform, and it should reach to the people so that more and more people get benefited to Lumia's experience. Yeah, I think with that, next slide, I think Manju, you can take and conclude the discussion.
Yeah, hi. So we are looking for ideal partners to franchise this model, and the ideal partners will be, the existing shop owners who are doing retail. That will be great to convert into the organic retail, where we have all kinds of SKUs for the same. So the other brand of people is business owners with low brand conversion to retail, who wants to convert to a retail. Then young entrepreneurs with interest in organic goods. A lot of people are understanding organic is needed, and whoever wants to do it, they can venture into it because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have done everything needed to do that business. Professionals from hospitality and retail sector, because they have gone through the bad part of it. They have already understood, how bad it is, how dangerous it is. So they have to convert it to this. So whoever wants to do that, yeah, we are there to help. Then financially strong investors and with some space, they can, if they want to do a new business, yeah, this is the new business for that. Getting into the next thing, how we can support the key roles and responsibilities of franchisee as well as the brand. Location selection, approval. Location selection, obviously, franchise will have to involve, but the approval will be done by brand. Setup cost, franchise will have to invest. Staff recruitment and payroll, franchise will have to do. And staff training, obviously, brand will do. Inventory and vendor management, brand will do. You don't have to touch the inventory. I mean, inventory keeping you have to do, physical inventory keeping, but you will get all kinds of SKUs from us. Stock correction, we have a CRM package, and it will take care of the stock correction, and you will get the details of it. Operations manual, we will be supplying the operations manual. Franchise coordinator, we'll have a franchise coordinator. He will take care of the relations between brand and franchisee. Advertising, marketing, branding, we both will do it together, because local marketing, everything has to be taken care by the franchisee, and the digital overall marketing will be taken care by the brand. Then the PR support will be done by the brand. And that's it. Thank you very much. That concludes the presentation part of it. Let me come back to you.
Thank you so much, Shilpa ji and Manjunath ji, for your presentation. It was very, very detailed and very comprehensive. And I would like to also say I'm glad to witness you have a full stack model, which is very well integrated with your own organic farms and also partner farms, complemented by your 18 years of experience that you spend doing this and gaining knowledge. And today, I feel traceability is also becoming a very, very important factor for a consumer. And more than ever, people want to know where their food is coming from. And also, as a part of the food movement today, which emphasizes on organic, farm to table, local food trends, in which community and collaborations are becoming a part of the overall food experience. So, my first question, Manjunath ji and Shilpa ji, for you would be, while we are seeing organic industry has started to evolve, and there has been a growing, I would say, health awareness also, there's a growing demand also, which we are seeing from a growing conscious consumer. And also, as far as the industry is concerned, there's almost, I think 850 million USD is the overall size of the organic food market, and we are seeing a steady growth. How have you witnessed, and how are you seeing this industry evolve, and what dynamics have you witnessed maybe in the last few years as far as the consumer segment is concerned? with respect to the shift, we understand that shift is happening, but how swift is that shift? Are you also seeing or witnessing these people who are consuming becoming a repeat customer or becoming a regular subscriber? Because typically what happens with organic is, people would use it for some time and they would, go back to their regular stuff which they have been using. So, how do you see this business evolving? And if you can maybe talk a little bit on the consumer based on the 3 stores, and also a lot of knowledge that you've gained in these 18 years, what kind of reflections do you see coming from that?
Good. Yeah, hi. Thanks for the question. Definitely, it's a wonderful question. Everybody asks this. I can go back to 18 years back. Nobody knew about this. I mean, very few people knew about this. So it's changed. If you talk about 10 years back, few people know about it. Few people were doing it. So people started talking about it. Some articles started coming. 5 years back, again, a big change. You remember the noodles story, right? And we have seen a huge impact on the walk-ins. But after 3 months, it went back. So that was the way it was going. The trust is the biggest part of this, because if there is a packet of food there, if you cannot explain what is inside, what is the source of it, who does it, what makes it different to the consumer, that is where people are worried about it. They don't have the trust. Right now, after all these years in 2021, with pandemic is also around, people know organic. People have seen the poisonous agriculture. People have seen the adulteration. Everybody knows. Most of the people knows about it, but they don't care because of the untrust in the market. They don't trust what people are doing, because there are millions of brands, and which brand to trust, and whether that brands, how down the line, they are taking care of all these strict methods to make sure that this is organic. So the growth is there, definitely the opportunity is there, but if you're going pan-India, pan-world, I don't think that is the way to go. It should be community-based. That's what Lumaire has been focusing. We were not trying to scale up very fast. We were trying to work with communities, work slowly, and that is why we decided, Manjunath or Shilpa or whoever is working here cannot do hundreds of stores here. We need entrepreneurs to take franchisee and do this. And they should understand us, and what the procedure we are going through, and they should be able to explain the same thing to the smaller communities in and around that franchise shops. So definitely that is a way to go. Otherwise, there should be more and more entrepreneurs in India and in the world to really take it forward. Otherwise, like a brand pan-India, it is very difficult to execute with individuals who knows about this, who understands this. Absolutely. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, absolutely, Manjunath.
And just to add what Manju said, it's like about you asked how the customers are coming. So we can very well say that our 75% customer base is the loyal customer base. They have been buying from us, and there are few customers who are with us from last 18 years.
18 years they have been
18 years, the day one they started, they in the pandemic time they went to Kerala, they went to their hometown in North India, and a few things they still wanted from the Lumaire, so we had to courier them.
Okay, and that's very interesting to note.
Yeah.
Another question which I'll pick up is on the business model. We talked about 3 different formats. One is AB, which starts from 400 square feet, and the B with 850 square feet. And I will talk maybe master franchisee post this, which starts from an investment of 16 lakhs and goes up to 23 odd lakhs. Now, my first, question which I want to take up a little bit is on the unit economics, which also includes typically, one, I would want to understand maybe the broad breakup of the investment. How much typically is that across the entire investment of 16 lakhs? And second is maybe my operating expenses and the working capital which is required. And I see that question also from the audience which is coming in. So if you can maybe talk a little bit on this side too.
Yeah, the setup cost is what is needed for the real estate, furnishing, and the initial marketing, plus the stock. Okay, that is the initial whatever we are talking about. But with the initial marketing, definitely from the first initial 3 months itself, we should be able to make some revenue. That is our experience. That's what our experience is. And if whoever wants to further this talk, we have worked out a model, and we can definitely start discussing with that. We can share the information, and we can take one-to-one and do the explanation of that. Is that fine?
Sure, Manjunath. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe I'll just add, I think we have Mr. Karthik Vijayan, who would like to know what is the working capital. So this would typically include your rentals of the outlet. It will include the salaries of the staff, electricity, and maybe some amount that one needs to keep aside also for the inventory, because the stock would rotate and you need to have sufficient inventory which needs to be replenished. Now, coming on the inventory side, Manjunath ji, if you can even advise, what happens and typically what is the shelf life of the inventory which is at the outlet? Is there any product, which maybe has a possibility where the movement is slow, and these products are retained by the franchisee, or these are replaced by the company? What happens to the slow moving items? While I'm sure, based on your experience and also demand which comes online also to you, what movement would happen at which locations. But if some kind of products are stuck, is there some kind of structure that we have for a franchise partner?
Right. There are basically two types of, one is perishable and one is non-perishable. Non-perishable has anywhere between 6 months to 1 year shelf life mostly. So that if it is a slow moving item, definitely we have an inventory control. We can, we can work together with the franchisee and the brand and do it. Okay, that won't be a problem. The perishable thing, yeah, definitely franchise has to work a little bit harder, work on the requirement and do it, because otherwise that is the tricky part. They have to understand what kind of customers are coming, how many customers are coming, and that is the way it has to be maintained. The franchise has to be very careful in projecting and raising the PO for the perishables.
Right. And now coming on the product side of, and if you can maybe reflect upon, I'm sure because you have a big number of SKUs, which we saw in the presentation. Now for an outlet that we, and between both these, I'm sure 850 would have a bigger number of SKUs present. Now between these two formats, what is the ideal mix of the products or the SKUs that we have is my one question. And my second question would be on the overall margins, typically on what margins would structure or the SKU mix for especially organic would work, and typically what are the price points and how maybe premium they are from the other products which are in the market, which are non-organic.
Yeah, I would request you to repeat the first question. I'm sorry.
Sure. Manjunath, my question one was on the two formats. We have 400 and 850, and I understand there are different SKUs that we have. So how is the SKU mix defined, and typically which are the items which are, I would say, higher in SKUs, and which are the ones that we keep smaller, and which are the ones which are driving, I would say, a higher volume or revenue? And my second question was on the typical margins that we have across the SKU mix at the outlet.
Okay. See, the thing is, 400 and 850 square feet. It will carry everything there. No extra thing in 850. The only thing is the quantity will be more for the more people to walk in and shop. That's why is that number of customers in the community. That depends on the 400 or 850. That's the suggestion we have. Okay. And regarding the commission and the margins we are talking about, it's a static margin. What we are doing, it is the franchisee will get a static margin. It's right now it is calculated as 24% of the margin will be given to the franchisee. The whole model is created like that. So whoever is interested, after this, they can definitely communicate with us, and we will come up with the whatever chart we have worked on, sheets we have worked on, and we can share that.
Sure, Manjunath. And how, and typically, when we talk about, and because this product also requires a lot of education at the partners end and also equally at the consumers end, because today consumer is evolving and even, maybe an educated person goes to the store, he does not know the products which are available and a lot of education goes into it. So I would also maybe touch upon the training, what kind of training is imparted to the franchisee and a lot of new innovations and new products also keep coming to the outlet. So what kind of personnel he needs to have at the outlet, one? And second, my question would be the training which is given to both the personnel at the outlet and also to the franchisee himself.
Okay, the initial training will be there. People will be understanding, people will be trained properly, the basic things. Okay, and we'll be having some communicative displays there, which will definitely answer a lot of questions. And the third thing is we will have a customer support team, and wherever the customer needs some extra information, they'll be able to call Lumiere and we'll be able to support that.
All right. And another important, I would say, element for placing these stores is also the locations that we enter, because comparatively, this is a product which is premium, and one has to be in the neighborhood, which can afford and has the audience which is aware. So, what kind of locations would you suggest that one should look out for, and ideal rentals for these locations?
Okay. The rentals again, we will come to if people are interested, we'll come with the model. With the model, we can discuss. The area I would suggest that any tier 1, 2, or 3 cities will be the ideal area to do this. Any of this will be fine, but the person who is going to do that should have an understanding of that particular city or town. That is a bare minimum requirement, because we may not know how Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh tier 3 city will be having an opportunity for this or not. They should be able to, the person who is coming should be able to know a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, I was also looking at another question which I'm seeing from Mr. Chirag Munjani. He would like to understand what is the local marketing strategy that the company would expect from a franchisee, because this product, like we discussed, requires a lot of marketing, especially in the neighborhood where people, and a lot of education which happens. So what is that he needs to do to acquire these customers, and what kind of marketing initiatives typically works for a business like this? Shilpaji, you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I was talking about that see, one thing is the pamphlets, the local, when you do the newspaper pamphlet or the digital messages, SMS and all, that works wonder. Though it's a very low cost marketing, but it works a lot. When people see that, the kind of the pamphlet, what we can suggest what should be the content and all, and we do say that a lot of people come back to us with the questions. At least they'd like to visit the store. And that's the one of the things which anyone who is started, and then it should, when we start any franchise outlet, it should be like before 1 or 2 months before only, the stocks needs to be started in the surrounding area, so that the news gets spread, and that's how the maximum footfall you will get it. And otherwise, yes, digital channels are wonderful. If it's big cities, it's apartment based marketing, community based marketing works wonder. You go give some few products there and put some stalls sometime and give them the testing of our product, explain how it is, like when I say my honey or my bread or masalas, explaining does work. These small stuff works wonder, and more of talk. It's like it has to be just not one time and the silent. It has to continuous marketing efforts are required. Like every maybe 2 months you can start do the pamphlet thing. Every 15 days the SMS need to be broadcasted, and the WhatsApp every week when you get the fresh products, it's better to broadcast to all the customer those SMS with the product details. Like if something new has come or some new seasonal fruit has come, it's good to broadcast. People get excited about it when you say from where it is coming, how our farmers, with the 2-line description. This gives a lot of advantage to that. Yeah.
I'll also take another question while we're discussing here on the franchise opportunity. I do see some of our viewers also asking about some kind of partnership if they can have with you. I see Mr. Girish Yadav. He says if there's a possibility of partnering in terms of organic farming with a company. And I also see another viewer of ours, Mr. Jagannath. He says he's already having a farm of 10 acres and which is a land he needs to support for the environment. Is there some kind of possibility where he can be involved or partner with the company? Are there any such possibilities that we can explore?
Yes, I would say connect with us. You can share our mail IDs with them. We would love to hear that. No, why not? And if together we can take these things forward. As Manju said, it's not like Shilpa and Manju's. It should not be idea of Shilpa and Manju. We are open for that. Any kind of such suggestion who are ready to take to their cities or their communities. Yes, please connect with us.
Great. And Shilpaji, we did see the expansion. I think these are three main regions which you talked about. One is Karnataka, AP, Telangana is another state, and then we have TN, which is Tamil Nadu. Now, apart from these four, I would say big states, would you also be exploring any other region? Because I see somebody from Kolkata, Goa, and then some other cities also asking if there's a possibility of any kind of collaboration, or do you think we would take that as maybe phase second?
We would like to see, we don't want to restrict ourselves. As we said, we have very strong backend and the sourcing network. So yes, people, if they are interested in those areas, there will be a bit of, we would like to go more of a master franchising model instead of having the multiple outlets and managing. But yes, we are open for that. If people have interest and they are, so they can reach out to us and we can see how it can be worked out.
Sure. And while I see, a lot of queries still pouring in, can I request, and we have Mr. Srikanth from Telangana, he's also looking for a collaboration. I do see a lot of other partners, prospective partners who have come in, they're looking for Hyderabad and some other locations, which I see a mention of. And I'm sure this would require a little bit going in depth in terms of the business model and many other dynamics, which perhaps the investor needs to understand before he finalizes. So would you suggest sometime in the coming week, if we can bring and seek some time from you and bring prospective partners to come on a call with you and have a detailed discussion? Any date that you would want to suggest? We would also take maybe the next 5 odd days time at our end also to swift through the response which has come in, filter that for you and bring these prospects. So would you want to suggest any date in the coming week, maybe 27th, which is next week, if that day is convenient, or anytime before you think you can meet?
Yeah, I think next week sometime, end of the next week, after 25th. Yeah, after 25th should be good.
So we can have maybe 26th. So after 25th, we have 26th. So if 26th is okay, we can block that. And we'll also have our teams come back to you to block the time. And before we close, Manjunathji and Shilpaji, I will also request if you can share maybe a last message for the audience who's listening to you today. And before I do that, I see a lot of them asking, friends, we'll put our hotline number in the chat box. Ashna, if I can request you, if you can put the hotline number. I see some of our viewers asking for the contact number to reach out to. And friends, I will also like to reiterate, we have taken all your queries which have come in, and you'll be the first one to reach out by our teams. And most probably between today and tomorrow, we'll reach out to everybody who has sent their inquiries. And alternatively, you can also connect us on the hotline number. Please see that in the chat box. We put the hotline number. You can reach out on this number, and we'll take all your queries on a priority, and we'll block time with Manjunathji and Shilpaji in the coming week. 25th is the day, February of this month, that we have kept for a meeting, and we'll block that time for you. If you're outside, then we can do a Zoom call. If you're locally available, we would also want that you go and visit the existing outlets which are in Bangalore, and there are 2 other locations where the outlets are running. Somebody was asking for a visit to the outlet. So there are 3 locations which are running. And Shilpaji, if you want to repeat these 3 locations where the outlets are, and if anybody wants to visit, we can also arrange maybe a tour with your help.
Yeah. Whitefield, Mahadevpura, and the Sarjapur. So anyone who wants to visit the outlet, just contact us. And anyone who is particularly interested in the investing in the Bangalore, do connect with us, because we do have some good options too, like ready to available stores and something like that is there with us. So from Bangalore, yes, they can directly connect with us.
Great. Very helpful, Shilpaji and Manjunathji. And before we sign off, I will request maybe a last message you have for the audience, please.
Okay, I do have a message. This business, I've been doing this 18 years. I've seen uh, terrible times. I've seen real good times. The good thing is each and every customer is so thankful to us, so that we give the best to them. So this is a responsible business, no doubt about it. So the advantage of having a good feeling of doing something good, that is the best thing you get out of it. But times have changed, a lot of people looking for this, so it is lucrative too. It is going to be very lucrative in the coming future generation. And the last thing I would like to tell you is, I love my kids. That's why I do this business. I hope you understand.
Absolutely, absolutely, Manjunathji. We do. Shilpaji, would you want to add on?
Yes, I think the same line. We all started. It's because we all love our kids. We love our surroundings. Manju, you need to mute. You love our surroundings, and this is how I got into the business. And this is one part is definitely a monetary part. The other part is the kind of responsibility we show to our surrounding, the kind of sensitive we are towards that. So this is
Absolutely.
equally important. And yes, we have built the platform. It's like whatever hardship has to go, it's all gone. So it's a time for us to take the learning, whatever Mr. Manjunath has acquired in last 18 years with his ups and downs. And it's time to take it forward. Yes.
Thank you so much, Manjunathji and Shilpaji. And we also agree, especially this year after the pandemic, we have also seen a big rise in the demand for organic products. And there's a big consciousness on sustainability, and also global consumers expect the brands to support the social and environmental issues. And you've taken an initiative which was 18 years back when people didn't even know what organic was. And today's the time, I think it's a tipping point in the industry where a lot of companies are coming. We have consumer who is becoming aware. So wish you all the best, Manjunathji and Shilpaji, and we'll connect with you in the coming week with prospective like-minded partners, I would say, on 25th. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Archana, over to you, please.
Sure. So thank you so much, Manju sir. Thank you so much, Shilpa ma'am, for joining in today. Thanks for all the hard work we have done for this webinar. I personally got guidance and inspiration from you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for sparing time and talking about the great opportunity we presented today. Dear friends, please do connect with us at our business hotline number, which is 97176 We request you to save this number in your phone book so that you get a regular updates from our side. Do connect with us at our different social handles, information on your screen. The entire team of Franchise India would love to give you the best of the solutions for your franchise issues and suggestions. Do connect with us at our business, at our Facebook page. The link is Franchise India Brands Limited. You can go under video section and see all the previously done individual brands webinar as well as different summits where we took you through 300 plus opportunities. Please do connect with Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn IDs. That's the information on the screen. And tomorrow, again, our objective is to bring opportunity for you where you can get and chance to digitally interact with the team. We are presenting Let Live, a fast fashion retail concept where the team would come and talk about how and what kind of a value proposition they are creating in market, and obviously we'll talk about their physical presence. So do not miss this chance at the same business hotline number, which is 97176 Do registration so that you can join us tomorrow 12 p.m. Do share your suggestions at the same business hotline number. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a great day ahead. Eat healthy, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends.